I want to talk a little bit about, for companies that have an interest in setting up a recycling program, what are the steps that you need to do to make that happen? First off, I think you need to ask why. Why do you want to do this? Some recent studies have indicated that, first off, more than 80% of U.S. workers polled said that they believe it's important to work for any company or organization that makes the environment a top priority. Employees who feel that they can make an impact on social and environmental issues while on the job are twice as satisfied with work as those that don't. In another study, 83% of the consumers think companies should try to accomplish their business goals while trying to improve society and the environment. The benefits: boost employee morale by engaging them in a cause with the environment and social and economic benefits. You already heard Jeff talk about the economic benefits just from the hotel industry, making some changes to the way that they manage their energy on site. Reduce your environmental impact and realize potential cost savings from waste reductions. Earn respect from your employees, clients, and customers. In looking at what is the latest and greatest of setting up a recycling business for small companies, I came across this website, and this is a collaborative effort that was put together by Keep America Beautiful, Alcoa, Microsoft, and PepsiCo. And I think it is a great site that provides a wealth of information. So if your business or you're in the government sector and you want to direct somebody within your community set up a recycling program, I would encourage you to visit this site. In addition to that, they had a little webinar that you can view that was recorded. And we'll make sure that we get this to you as well with a hyperlink to it. It went into detail in terms of, well, what kind of containers do you use versus, how you set your program up. It's an hour in length. The advantage to viewing it this way is you can speed through some of the sections that don't have an interest to you and get to the meat of what's really important. The way that the website is set up is a 10-step action plan. You start off by making a commitment. Take the recycling work pledge. There's actually a pledge. Similar to what DEP has with the recognition program, this is one step further. This is something that KFB does that allows you to pledge from your organization that you have the commitment to recycle within your company. And there's important steps to doing that and reasons why. Not only does it show your commitment within the organization, but it shows others that you're willing to make that change within your organization to commit to recycling. You have to assemble a team. All right, so you're going to recycle. Who's going to do it? Most successful programs are set up with a cross-functional team. You have the administration that provides the top-down effect that we're going to do this, as again, going back to Jeff's comments with the state of Florida and the governor when the green lodging program was put in place, stating that if we're going to do, the state of Florida is going to do business with a hotel, they're going to do it at a green lodge. So you have to have that top-down effect. You have to get with other departments like IT, facilities maintenance, procurement, and operations. And we'll talk a little bit more regarding maintenance and procurement in greater detail. Identify a recycling team leader. Who's going to be in charge? What volunteer is going to come to the plate? Or who are you going to appoint to run the program? You have to set recycling goals, plan recycling activities, educate the employees, and then it doesn't do any good if you don't monitor where you are to start with and monitor where you are through the progress of the entire operation. Key to this entire process is management support. You've got to have management behind you. You've got to have the adequate resources and clear goals. You have to conduct your audit, all right? So where are you at the start? So create a baseline assessment to know where you are. And a part of that is conducting this waste audit or waste assessment, where you look at what your facility generates, the types of materials, how it's being managed, and that then provides you where you want to focus your efforts. I know that there are some municipalities here in the state of Florida that can provide assistance with doing waste assessments. We at SWIX also can do that, and there's also many great private companies. John, I know you just raised your hand. You guys get involved in that as well. There are some great MSW consultants, solid waste consultants here in the state of Florida that can assist a business with doing that, and I encourage you to reach out to them. Develop a plan. All right, so what are you going to recycle? Set your recycling goals. Is it 50%, 75%? It's interesting to hear how the 75% goal for the state of Florida was derived from, and it's basically because one of the legislators heard this rate that was achieved in Canada, and he thought, well, if Canada can do it, we can do it. So we're going to set that rate. You have to set up a meeting. Bring your staff together and talk about what it is that you're going to do. Bring outsiders in. If you have a private waste hauler, bring that appointed rep. Let them know what you're going to do, mainly because they might be able to provide assistance to you with regard to containers that you might be able to use, whether it's a cardboard container or what have you. Set the location, the type, the size, and number of recycling bins that you're going to put in your facility. And the key to this is make it easy for employees. We as human beings like things easy. And the easier you can make it, the more success you're going to have. Use the meeting as an opportunity to enlist their help and to educate others. As I said, make it easy. Recycle bin located next to every garbage can. Recycling bins should be designed to look different than the garbage cans. Clearly marked with signs and labelings, and I'm going to show you some example of that. What's accepted, what's not. Recycling bins should also be easily accessible near to the desk, and I'll show you a couple of pictures there. And then in the areas where typically waste is generated, the copy room, high traffic areas, cafeteria, hallways, near concession and vending machines. This is an example, and I mentioned that webinar. One of the things that was presented in that webinar, well, what should, on a typical office recycling program, what should that container look like? And so they went through and they did a number of trials setting up different container sizes to see what was most efficient. And you see the green recycling bin. What's the black bin next to it? What do you think that is? Garbage. I heard somebody say garbage. That's correct. They found in their study if you make the garbage container smaller, it makes people think about what it is that they're throwing away. And so they got a better participation rate from a recycling standpoint by having the garbage container a smaller size. These are some container sizes that are in, I believe it's a lunchroom. And again, you can see how the containers are not only designed differently in different colors, but they also have clear markings of what's accepted and what's not accepted. So here's an example for this particular recycling program of what should you be throwing in. So not only do they have words, but they provide pictures of what's acceptable. And then they also provide pictures of what's not acceptable, what things that they may want. And this is going to change from community to community. I understand that. So you have to pick what's available in your area. So if you're a business, you probably ought to start off with finding out what your private recycler will accept in your area or what your municipality will accept. What do they want in the bin? What do they don't want in the bin? You have to launch your program. Start by enlisting, again, top-down effect. You want your top to provide a memo endorsing the program and set the mandate. We are going to recycle. Thou shalt recycle. Organize a recycling at work kickoff event. Promote the event through your employees and continue to make improvements in the program as you proceed. You want to do a training, again, to go over what's accepted, what's not accepted, and what's the proper way to handle that. And then also you want to educate by writing articles. If you've got a blog, company email that goes out to your clients, let your clients know what it is that you're doing. You want to monitor your progress throughout the recycling program's performance. You want to monitor your program from the start and identify the correct problems and track whether the recycling goals are being met. Are they too stringent? Do they need to be adjusted? Are they not stringent enough? You want to share your results and your progress with your employees and others. Publicize the success. We already talked about doing something like newsletters. Recognize individual employees. I think this is important. Where you have individuals that not only volunteer to run the program, but if you might run a competition within your organization. Whose bin is always the fullest? Whose bin has more contamination in it? Put a little peer pressure into it to encourage others to do the right thing. And then finally, look for opportunities to garner recognition through local government programs, national programs like Recycling at Work, recycling programs, recognition programs like the Department of Environmental Protection's Recycling Recognition Program. Towards the end here, it's buy recycled content. You've got to close the loop. And so if you're going to make the effort to recycle, you should make the effort to buy products that are made from recycled content. So get a list of the typical products that you use, and can those products be made from post-consumer recycled materials? Notify your employees of your buy recycled content policy and preferences, and spread the word within your community. Now, I believe here in the state of Florida, Ray, Mr. Historian, correct me if I'm wrong, the state has provisions about procurement in the state of Florida, correct?
Yes.
Through DMS, as I recall.
Right.
But I don't think they are being enforced at all. I think it was a preference, price preference with regard to bids.
Yes.
Okay. And then your final step is encourage others. Invite at least one other organization to follow in your steps and bring them on board. It's my contact information. Just real quickly, a little bit, if you don't know what SWIX does, and we're basically a matchmaker, only on the waste side. We put waste generators in touch with waste users to encourage recycling and reuse of waste materials. And we do that in a number of different ways. One of our most effective ways is through this database called wasteexchange.org, where we allow companies to list materials that are available as well as wanted, or provide a service in the waste management area. And it's all free of charge. We get a line item from the state to assist Florida industry and municipalities in this arena. So if you have products that you need to get rid of, you can list them here, and it's a great way to try to attract leads for the materials, whether you have something you need to get rid of or you want something. The other thing that we maintain as part of our line item, and this was actually created through an innovative grant through Leon County, is a product called Waste Map. And Waste Map is a geographic-based system, GPS system, that provides the locations and content information for Class 1 landfills, Class 3 landfills, recycling centers, county contacts, yard waste, composting, C&D material recovery facilities, C&D landfills, and household hazardous waste. So if you want to know what's going on in the state of Florida, I would encourage you, if you need to find a home for something or you need to know where the recycling centers are, I would encourage you to look at this site. For the municipalities that are in here, I know things change, and they change rapidly. We send out once a year, and it's only once a year, a survey to all the municipalities requesting information about your program. I'm going to ask, if you're a municipality in this room right now, if you will pull this site up and please go to your particular county information and look at it, and then give us feedback whether we need to make any updates. On some of the facilities, we've got information about operation hours, and I know that changes, and that's been problematic in the past to try to keep up with. I think what we're trying to encourage folks right now is just provide us a contact, a phone number, an email address that we can provide to somebody that is in your community. This site gets over 8,000 hits a month, just from Florida, from folks wanting to know what to do. Where's a recycling facility? And so this is one of the first hits that they're going to come to. And that's it from the perspective of starting a recycling program within a business. So right now we're going to turn it over. Okay.
Question? You want to take a question?
Yes. Question back there. Wastemap.org. The question was, what was the URL? It's wastemap.org, O-R-G.
Any other questions? If not, thank you.
All right, sir.